It is February, and I am feeling that a good dose of extra love in the world is definitely in order. I am making heart banners 3 ways today, and because this is a channel about reducing and reusing, I am using upcycled papers to make all 3 of these. This first banner is the simplest of all 3. Really, it's just a string of hearts. But I think that by using upcycled papers, it looks so adorable. To make these, I just traced hearts, cut them out, and then taped or glued them onto a piece of string. This one is just made with various bits of food boxes that were headed for the recycling. I had so much fun finding bits and pieces that were colorful or interesting, and I think the collection of all of these together is really cute. And then this one is made with book pages from a damaged book, and then just a couple of scraps of red paper. I often feel really conflicted about making projects or sharing projects that use book pages from damaged books, because as cool as they look, I am a book lover as well, so the thought of cutting up book pages is complicated. That being said, there are a lot of books in our world, some that are too damaged for continued use and some that are just outdated. So the environmentalist part of me loves being able to find a new life and a new use for these books before they head to recycling. Oftentimes, libraries and even used bookstores will have stacks of books that just cannot be used anymore or even sold, and that are heading to recycling. So if you want to craft with book pages, I highly recommend trying one of these 2 options just to see what you can find there first. The second project I made were these dangling 3D hearts. Again, this one started by finding pages to upcycle, in this case, some damaged maps, and then just cutting them out into heart shapes. I chose to just use 2 hearts for each one of these 3D shapes because 3 just felt like a bit much. I folded the 2 hearts down the center and creased, and then just trimmed if needed. Then I simply laid some sewing thread down the center of the heart, which I just used tiny bits of tape to tape onto one heart. And then lastly, I folded and taped the second heart on top, taping it first on one side and then on the other. I liked making these vertical garlands using different amounts of hearts and different lengths, but you could also make sort of a uniform curtain of these, which I think would look really cool as well. And I will say, as much as I appreciate the sort of invisibility of the sewing thread that I used, it can have a tendency to get tangled. So just keep that in mind if you are making this and choosing what kind of string or yarn or thread that you would like to use to attach the hearts. And then this last idea was a new one for me, but I think it just looks so cool. For this, I used decorative scraps from old calendars that I had saved. Basically, you are looking to get 6 strips of equal width, and for the length, you'll want 2 long ones, 2 medium length, and 2 short. I could give you the length I used here, but really, I just chose these because it's what worked with the paper I was using. Then I stacked the strips with the decorative sides facing each other. So first, the 2 longest strips with the good sides facing towards each other. Then the 2 medium strips on either side of those, again facing in, and then the little pieces on the outsides. I just lined up the bottoms of the strips and stapled. So that stapled bit forms the top V of the heart. And then this part is just so much fun. You just fold each section outwards and down to meet again. And then staple once more, and it forms this awesome 3-piece heart. And you could alternatively just bring that middle bit down just for a different look. So I ended up hanging these from a branch we have hanging over our dining table, and I just think that they are so cute. I think one of my favorite parts about projects like these is just thinking up which kind of papers I want to reuse or upcycle to make them. So you could use magazines or catalog pages. You could use old Sudoku pages that are finished. If you have saved paper gift wrap from gifts that were given, or if you've saved old greeting cards, that kind of thing would also be really great for a project like this. That is all for today. Sending out lots of love. Your actions can and will make a difference. I will see you next time. Bye.